Hi everybody, and welcome to another Royal Reviewer channel episode. Right behind me is Windsor Castle. You can just about see it in the distance. I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to be talking about the latest Prince Andrew news, and we're going to be walking part of the royal long walk towards Royal Lodge. Let me just turn it round. Woo! There we go. So I'm sorry if the sound, you can hear aeroplanes going over. Yes, I know they chose to build the castle close to an airport. Joke. Because the castle's been here 1,000 years. The airport was definitely built afterwards. So we're in the grounds of Windsor Great Park. Stretching ahead is the bulk of the long walk. Right behind me, you can just about see Windsor Castle in the distance. I will be walking back towards there later, but probably not on camera. Over in that direction over there somewhere is Adelaide Cottage, where William and Catherine now live. And somewhere over here is Frogmore, which we can't go into Frogmore Gardens because they're shut and closed at the moment, including the house. And Prince Andrew's Royal Lodge is somewhere in that direction over there, right at the end of the long walk. So hello and welcome to everyone. Let's talk a little bit about the latest royal news. So it's quite apt really that news has broke, or rather, see, I'm doubting the news about King Charles evicting Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage and replacing them with Prince Andrew. Apparently the story goes that he wants Andrew to go into Frogmore Cottage. And anyway, let's just talk about it in a moment. We'll have a talk and a walk. Okay, so the story goes that King Charles has asked Harry and Meghan, in the wake of obviously Harry's Spare book, or if you trust South Park, in the wake of that, he's chosen not to renew the lease. Because of course they are actually leasing the property from the Crown Estates. Now this is where I think it's a little bit, the story goes a bit weird. So Harry and Meghan are actually leasing Frogmore Cottage, having paid back $2.5 million in renovation costs to the Crown Estate after they decided to leave. They're actually renting it on a lease. Now, when news sort of broke that they were leasing it, it was supposed to be sort of 12 months, I think, lease, like a rolling 12-month lease. And it's expected that obviously it is up for renewal every single year. So either what has happened is Harry and Meghan have chosen not to renew the lease, in which case perhaps palace spin doctors have got into action and tried to put out there through leaks and plants that perhaps it's Harry and Meghan. Perhaps it's King Charles that has chosen not to renew the lease. In other words, well, the papers have spun it to be evicting them. Then obviously going inside with all of this, there is the I suppose side story that with what's going on with Andrew with Royal Lodge. So all in all, it kind of, the papers have put two and two together and I think come up with 8. They're kind of suggesting that Charles wants Andrew to move into Frogmore Cottage, which I don't really think is going to happen. I've always said that I thought perhaps Wood Farm on the Norfolk estate would be better for Andrew. And also, it's not even, you can't actually evict Andrew from Royal Lodge. That's false, because he paid £1 million to lease the property back in the early 2000s, and that's for a 75-year lease. So you cannot evict someone once they have legally paid for a lease. Also, he spent £7.5 million of his own money renovating Royal Lodge because it needed massive repairs. What could happen is obviously if Charles cuts the allowance to Andrew, it could mean that Andrew potentially couldn't afford to keep Royal Lodge going, in which case Andrew may be forced to move out. That's probably more likely what will happen, but we don't know what legacy Andrew has been left from the Queen, because he may have a few extra million in his bank account now that the Queen has passed. So I don't think Andrew is going anywhere. I don't think you can force him to go. But with regards to Harry and Meghan, it's unclear whether they decided to end their lease or whether King Charles, via the Crown Estates, has asked them to leave. It's a little bit sort of out there, really. So let me know in the comment section what you think is going to happen. Let me know. So there we go. That's my little bit of amusing on the long walk here at Windsor. Thank you for watching.